Every day, you make decisions: what to buy, who to trust, what to believe. But here's the real question. Are those decisions really yours, or are they designed? This channel breaks down the psychology behind everything. I'm Shrest, and this is where we decode the world.
You know the feeling. For 2 months every year, 7:30 p.m. isn't just a time. It's a switch. The real world gets put on mute, and this whole other rhythm just takes over. All of it dictated by a little white ball. Come on, be honest. You told yourself, okay, just the first over, that's it. And then, somehow, 3 hours vanish. You're on the edge of your seat, but that big project, that important email, still sitting there completely ignored. And you absolutely knew you had that 8 a.m. meeting. But then the match goes down to the wire. A super over. Suddenly, sleep isn't a necessity, it's a sacrifice you're willing to make. That thrill, yeah, that felt way more important. Here's the big question though. Was that really your choice? Or were you being pulled along by a set of invisible strings? A system so perfectly designed that your decision was made for you long before the first ball was even bowled? Well, that's what we're about to find out. Okay, so let's start our investigation with the first piece of evidence. It's a chemical reaction going off inside your head, all thanks to a little something called dopamine. Now, this is the part almost everyone gets wrong. We think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's not. Not really. It's the chemical of anticipation. It's your brain shouting, hey, pay attention, something big is about to happen. Do that again. It's all about the wanting, not the getting. And the IPL, well, it's basically a machine built to milk this response. Just look at what happens in your brain with every single ball. A dot ball? A little pulse of dopamine. The tension builds. A boundary is hit, you get a bigger rush. And a wicket? Bam! A massive spike. It's just this relentless series of tiny, powerful hits that keeps your brain totally hooked. So yeah, this isn't some slow, developing story. It's a neurological sugar rush. There's no waiting around for the reward. The possibility of reward is delivered every 30 seconds. Your brain learns this pattern crazy fast. Watching the IPL means you get a steady, reliable drip of chemical excitement. And then you throw fantasy leagues into the mix. That's like pouring gasoline on an open flame. All of a sudden, it's not just about a team winning. It's about your captain smashing a six. It's about your bowler taking that crucial wicket. You're not just a fan anymore. You're a participant with real skin in the game. It creates this personalized dopamine drip that chains you to every single match. So that's the chemical hook, right? But the next force we're going to talk about is, well, it's even more primal. This isn't just about brain chemistry. This is about how we're wired as human beings. It's about the tribe. You think you're just kicking back, watching a cricket match, but your brain, deep down in that ancient reptilian part, it feels like it's taking part in a massive tribal ritual. See, we are wired with this deep, almost desperate need to belong. It's a survival instinct baked right into our DNA. And this number, this just shows you the insane scale of it all. 1 billion viewers. That's not an audience, that's a global tribe. And when it feels like every single person you know is part of this thing, your brain sends out a powerful warning. If you're not participating, you're on the outside. You're being excluded. And that's a primal fear. And that's the key, isn't it? This tribal identity. Your team's jersey is like your war paint. Their win feels like your win. It's a direct shot of self-esteem. And their losses? They feel like a personal attack. Your sense of who you are becomes completely tangled up with the fate of 11 people you've probably never even met. Now, this deep need to belong, it has a dark side, a vulnerability, and the entire IPL ecosystem has gotten incredibly good at weaponizing it. It's a little something we all know, FOMO, the fear of missing out. Think about it. This isn't just a 3-hour event. It's a 24/7 content factory built to dominate every conversation. You've got the pre-match analysis, the post-match breakdowns, the viral clips, the heated debates. It never stops. If you miss the live game, you don't just miss the score. You lose your ticket to the entire social conversation for the next 24 hours. How many times has your phone buzzed with that exact message? Your WhatsApp groups just explode. You see a spoiler in social media. The only way to escape that anxiety of being the person who doesn't know what's going on is to tune in. So, are you really choosing to watch, or are you just trying to avoid being left out? All right, so we've got the brain chemistry, we've got the social pressure. But now we're at the most clever and honestly the most dangerous mechanism of them all. And to understand it, we're not going to a cricket stadium. We're going to a casino. Think about why a slot machine is so addictive. It's not because you win every time. It's because you might win. That unpredictability, that tiny possibility of hitting the jackpot, that's what keeps you pulling the lever. Your brain actually gets more excited in the moments before the reward than when it actually gets it. Now, just look at this comparison. On the surface, these seem like totally different worlds, right? A casino and your living room. But to your brain, the psychological mechanism is exactly the same. Pulling the lever on a slot machine, refreshing your fantasy app, waiting for the next ball to be bowled. Every action is a gamble, a bet that this time something amazing is going to happen. Psychologists call this a variable reward system. It's the engine behind the world's most addictive habits, from slot machines to scrolling through social media. It's the reason you can't turn off a boring, one-sided match, just in case there's a sudden collapse, just in case there's a last-minute miracle. You're not just watching cricket, you're pulling the lever over and over and over again. So when you start adding all this up, the chemical hooks, the social pressures, the psychological tricks, you have to stop and ask a pretty tough question. At what point does being a passionate fan start to look more like a behavioral problem? There's this thing called dopamine recalibration. Basically, your brain gets so used to these massive, concentrated highs from the IPL that the normal, everyday rewards of life, finishing a task at work, having a good conversation, they start to feel dull, kind of gray, just not as satisfying anymore. And we love to call this passion, right, or loyalty, but when watching the game becomes the main way a person copes with stress or anxiety or just feeling lonely, it's not really a hobby anymore. It's an escape, and it's an escape that might be stopping them from dealing with what's really going on. So let's just quickly recap the architecture of this whole thing. It's built on our ancient need for a tribe. It's powered by a chemical dopamine roller coaster. It's enforced by a carefully engineered fear of missing out. And it's made irresistible by the exact same slot machine logic that built Las Vegas. This isn't just a sport, it's a masterpiece of psychological engineering. Which brings us right back to where we started. The next time you feel that pull, that undeniable urge to drop everything and turn on the match, just pause for 1 second. Now that you know all this, ask yourself, are you the one in control, making a choice? Or are you the one being pulled?